Good evening. I would like to take this opportunity to share with you the miracle that had happened to my brother Renato that paved the way to the canonization of Saint Artemides Zatti. I think the first drop of this miracle happened and started in my community in the Catacomb of Saint Callisto in Rome. I remember I was the sacristan of the community at that time. And during the feast day, we normally put and clean the portrait of any saint. And I remember I was cleaning the portrait of Artemide and I began to challenge him. And looking at his eyes, I said, Artemide, a lot of people are waiting for that miracle of yours. Please do one miracle so that you will be canonized and becoming a fully saint. And then I remember the following year, 2016, it was on August 13, 2016, when I received a call from my niece, Pia, the daughter of my brother Renato, and she told me that my brother was rushed to the ICU because of the ischemic stroke, and they have to address the blood clot in the brain. But after 5 days, I received the same call because Pia told me that the doctors are already telling them not to wait too long because the spread of the blood is already there and they have to be operated. They have to operate him. And I said, I'll go home, no more operation, and I will just prepare my brother for a happy death. But I cannot leave the time because my rector was in Slovenia. He was in vacation and he told me, Obet, wait for some days. Wait for me. But I said, I have to go. But while waiting, I called Mabel, the wife of my nephew, and I told Mabel, while waiting for me, pray through the intercession of the Saint Artemides Zatti. I will explain to you his background, who is the saint, but tell everyone in the family as you gather in the ICU to pray through the intercession of the Saint Artemides Zatti. When I arrived in the Philippines, I went straight to the ICU and against the medical advice, against the doctor's advice, I signed the waiver and we took our brother and brought him home. But after 1 day, he was still in comatose. We asked for anointing of the sick, and that evening, the following day, my brother began to speak around 11 p.m. And he was crying and asking everyone to love one another because he is about to die, and he was thanking us. We were all gathered there and I lead a prayer. And I asked Artemide, if you will not give the miracle, just help my brother to have courage and prepare himself for a happy death. And to our surprise, as we all fell asleep there, the following day, I think remember it was Tuesday, the second day, we were all shocked and found my brother sitting on his bed. He removed already the oxygen and the NGT, and he was asking for balut, was asking for this pulcino. And I said, we cannot give him anything to eat, especially balut, because his cholesterol was very high and also his blood pressure. And he asked for a bath. I said, at 6 o'clock, kuya, we will give you a bath. And at 6 o'clock, we managed to give him a quick bath, and he said he'll go to the toilet. So accompanied by his wife, they went to the toilet for some minutes, And then he came back alone, walking by himself. We cannot explain. And I said, I think this is the miracle that we're waiting for. And my brother kept on walking by himself. He went out and greeting people around as if nothing happened. Some of the neighbors told me that this is a miracle. And before leaving for Rome, I remember some of the neighbors asked me to report this to the authorities here in Rome. When I arrived in my community, fortunately, we had a time canonical visitation of Father Chereda, our vicar, and our provincial. And I told him about the miracle happened here in the Philippines. Then he called the Postulator General, Father Camaroni, and Camaroni invited me to Sacro Cuore to tell him my story. And then after 6 months, Father Camaroni asked me to return to the Philippines to take all the records, all the medical records, and brought him to Rome. Then, 2018, I was assigned in Naga. I received a call from Father Camaroni, and he told me that the case of my brother was approved and to start this bishop inquiry. It was held in Don Bosco, Batulao. All the members of the families and the witnesses of this case were invited, and our Archbishop, Bishop Gilbert Garcera, he prepared a tribunal composed of 7 members, and we all gathered in Batulao at least for 3 to 4 days for the interrogation, and they made a documentation of this case, this miracle. Then all the documents were all submitted to the Vatican, and after 2 years, we heard the news that the case of my brother was approved by the medical doctors in the Vatican, and then the theologians, and then the cardinals and bishops. And then, the good news, the Pope himself made a declaration, announcement, on August 27, the canonization of Blessed Artemides Zatti. My friends, from this experience, I realized that I, as a Salesian, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve this. Not even my brother, not even the whole family of my brother. But I think it is not the question who is worthy or who is not. It's about God. It's about the mercy of God. We experience this miracle because God is merciful, and that's important. We should not forget this, that miracles still happen. My brother changed his life after the miracle. He became more religious. He became more affectionate. He became more aware of himself. And most especially, he became more aware of God. He was led to God because of this miracle. Good night, and thank you very much.